Hello, my friends. Let me say welcome to all our viewers out there. And again, we are about to embark on a journey with on John Sports Corner. And I'm so pleased by the response that we are getting. And I'm hoping that you will continue to share like you have been doing. As my friend Karen says, Trevor, we share, we share, we share. Because these are some of the new products that we're adding to our community just to make sure that when other people try to ignore us or roll back some of the things that we're accustomed to, like, messing around with my good friend Joy Reese, so I can't watch her on their program anymore, I can invite her to come to John Sports Corner and have a conversation with her listeners or no viewers. So, John, I can say, welcome again to your platform, John Sports Corner.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Good afternoon, friends and family. Thank you for visiting John Sports Corner on the Sosofat Media Network. As usual, before we forward into this afternoon's sports roundup, let me invite you to Winner Circle Radio, the Winner Circle Radio store in the Sosofat shop, and you can shop till you drop. Today is the first day of Easter, Trevor. It's Ash Wednesday.
Oh, so bun and cheese time is coming up.
Bun and cheese time is coming up, certainly. And it goes well with the great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And when you buy a packet of the coffee, there are 2 or 3 packets. The mugs are there too that you can get, that you can pour your coffee into your own Winner Circle Radio mug
Oh, yes.
and enjoy. Well, let's talk sports as usual, starting with some birthdays. As yesterday, Anthony Patrick, St. Catherine High School and racing football coach in Jamaica, celebrated a birthday. Jacqueline Williams, cricket umpire in Jamaica, and she is the first female umpire to stand in a domestic 50-over competition in the West Indies.
Oh.
Today, Delarine Ennis, London now, world champion, medalist, and Olympian. She celebrates her birthday. Dwight Washington, Jamaica, and former West Indies cricketer. As a matter of fact, Trevor, and while I say former West Indies cricketer, he played only 1 test match, but he is still a former West Indies
Oh,
cricketer.
yes. Oh, yes.
That's right. Beatrice Shibet out of Kenya, Olympian medalist. She celebrates today. Tomorrow, Shaquille O'Neal, the great basketball player of the Lakers of yesteryear, he celebrates a birthday.
The great and big basketball player.
The big man in the middle. Kieran Powell out of Nevis and former West Indies cricketer. But he's still playing, as a matter of fact. He's playing for the Windwards, the Leewards right now in the West Indies 4-day tournament.
Okay.
On Friday, Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards,
Viv.
Sir Viv, celebrates a birthday. Sir Viv captained when he won 27 of 50 test matches that he captained.
Okay.
But he never lost a test series.
Mm.
Mr. Music and team manager of Kingston College Manning Cup team, Donovan Germain, celebrates a birthday also on Friday. Denisha Blackwood, World Cup reggae girl, celebrates a birthday on Friday too. Also, Nikisha Price, Olympian, a young Olympian in Jamaica. She runs the 400 meters. On Saturday, Keston Bledman, Trinidad and Tobago Olympic medalist, celebrates a birthday. On Sunday, can I call her a good friend? Allian Pompey, out of Guyana. She's a 4-time Olympian out of Guyana. And she's currently the St. John's University athletic director, celebrates her birthday. I won't say how old Alian is. Alian, that's between you and me. Anyway, also on Sunday, Trevor, Samuel Badri, Trinidad and Tobago and West Indies cricketer, celebrates a birthday, and he played on the two West Indies 2020 title-winning World Cup teams. And on Monday, Cleopatra Borrell, a Trinidad and Tobago Olympian shot putter, she celebrates a birthday. Well, I suppose the guessing game is over, as both Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow and his Vice President Azim Basarath have been nominated as President and Vice President for a second term. The recently approved governance reform, 3 years, 3-term limit, will take effect March 29th at the Cricket West Indies annual general meeting. ICC Champions Trophy semi-final yesterday, game 1, India by 4 wickets over Australia in Dubai. Australia 264 in 49.3 overs. Steve Smith 73, Alex Carey 61, Travis Head 39, Mohammed Shami 3 for 48 from 10 overs. Varun Chakravarti 2 for 49 from 10. Ravindra Jadeja 2 for 40 from 8 overs. India 267 for 6 from 48.1 overs. Virat Kohli 84. Shreyas Iyer 45. KL Rahul 42 not out. Nathan Ellis 2 for 49 from 10 overs. Adam Zampa 2 for 60 from his 10 overs. Then today, semi-final 2 in Lahore. South Africa unable to climb Mount Everest, coming up 50 runs short against New Zealand. Batting first, New Zealand piled up 362 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in their 50 overs. Rachin Ravindra 108, Kane Williamson 102, Daryl Mitchell 49, Glenn Phillips 49 not out, Louis Lungi in Guinea 3 for 72 from 10 overs, Kagiso Rabada 2 for 70 from his 10. South Africa 312 for 9 from their 50 overs. David Miller an even century. Rassie van der Dusen 69. Temba Bavuma, the captain, 56. Mitchell Santner 3 for 43 from 10 overs. Matt Henry 2 for 43 from 7 overs. So it will be India and New Zealand final on Sunday.
Okay.
Cricket West Indies 50-over tournament. Let's run through the scores at Conaree Sports Club. Guyana women by 7 wickets over Windward Islands women. Windward's women 97 in 38.1 overs. Tafiana Millington 3 for 27 from 10 overs. Ashmini Munisar 2 for 18 from 10, and Cherian Fraser 2 for 16 from 5 overs. Guyana women 101 for 3 from 25 overs. Rialana Grimond 48 not out. Shabika Gashdabi 32 not out. Selena Ross 2 for 17 from 5 overs. At Warner Park, Leewa's women by 1 wicket over Jamaica women. Jamaica women 253 for 9 from 50 overs. Rashada Williams 88. Abigail Bryce 72. Jodian Morgan 35. Kimberly Anthony 5 for 34 from 6 overs. Amanda Edwards 2 for 42 from 10. Jazara Claxton 2 for 49 from 8 overs. Leewards 257 for 9 from 49.3 overs. Amanda Edwards 88 not out. Kimberly Anthony 37. Jazara Claxton 34. Chedian Nation 2 for 36 from 7.3 overs. Selena White 2 for 42 from 8. As a note of interest and a career we may watch going forward, Trevor, and that is Jazara Claxton, who is a multifaceted athlete representing the Leeward Islands.
Mm-hmm.
She initially played football, soccer, competed in track and field in the multi-event pentathlon,
Mm-hmm.
but is now focused on getting to the summit of women's cricket in the Caribbean. Matter
Mm.
of fact, in 2003 Carifta Games in the Bahamas, she missed out on a silver medal because of a lane violation in the 800 meters. It
Mm.
certainly would be nice to see Miss Claxton develop into another Deandra Dotting.
Mm.
Meanwhile, at the St. Paul's Sports Complex, Trinidad and Tobago women by 5 wickets over. They are Barbados women. Barbados women, 76 in 40.5 overs. Kishona Knight, 23. Keisha Knight, the twin sister, 20. Anisha Mohammed, 3 for 12 from 10 overs. Samara Ramnath, 3 for 13 from 10 overs. Karishma Ramharak, 2 for 15 from 9 overs. Steffi Sugrim, 2 for 20 from 6.5 overs. Trinidad and Tobago, 77 for 5 from 22 overs. Dijanaba Joseph, 27 not out. Thiana Herbert Mayers, 2 for 15 from 6 overs. Keela Elliott, 2 for 33 from 6. The
Mm.
women's fifth over semifinal actually ended earlier today. At the St. Paul's Sports Complex, Barbados women by 9 wickets over the Leewards women. Leewards 85 in 31.2 overs. Jazara Claxton, 23 not out. Alison Gordon, 4 for 12 from 6 overs. Shamila Connell, 2 for 26 from 8 overs. Keela Elliott, 2 for 11 from 2.2 overs.
Mm.
Barbados women, 57 for 1 in 17.1 overs. Keisha Knight, 51 not out. Trishan Holder, 22 not out. At
Mm.
Warner Park, Guyana women and Trinidad and Tobago women, that game ended in a no result that broke the Guyanese women's hearts.
Mm.
Guyana actually batted first and scored 108 from 45.2 overs. Shabika Gajnabi getting 51. Karishma Ramharak, 3 for 14 from 9.2 overs. Amelia Khan, 3 for 18 from 9 overs. Tefi Sugrim, 2 for 21 from 9.
Mm.
Trinidad and Tobago started their innings and they were 16 for 2 after 8 overs when the showers of blessings arrived for
Oh.
Trinidad and Tobago women. And
Mm.
with the game called as a no result, Trinidad and Tobago women, with the better preliminary round, they advanced to the final against Barbados women.
Really? After there were 16 for 2, John?
The rains came. And, the rules of the game. Let's go to the videotape. You know, but going into the semifinal round earlier today, the batting leaders were Rashada Williams with 187 runs in her 4 innings. I think it was 4 innings she played for Jamaica. Kishona Knight out of Barbados, 176 runs, and then there was Rialana Grimond of Guyana, 159 runs, and Shemaine Campbell, also Guyana, 125 runs. On the other side of the ball, Keela Scott of Barbados lead with 11 wickets, followed by Clafiana Millington of Guyana and the veteran Anissa Mohammed, 10 wickets apiece. Kimberly Anthony of the Leewards with 9 wickets. Now, the Windward Islands women and Jamaica women opened the 20-over leg of the women's tournament today. That game also ended in a no result. At the Connery Sports Complex, The Windward's women batted first and scored 95 for 3 from their 20 overs. Janita Glasgow, 41 not out. Jafina Joseph, 33.
Mm.
Well, it poured at the close of the Windward's innings, and Jamaica were unable to face a ball, so the game was called as a no result. The Bangladesh Cricket Board director, Nazmul Abdin Fahid, want Phil Simmons, the former West Indies cricketer and West Indies cricket coach, to continue as Bangladesh coach until the 2027 ICC One Day International Cricket World Cup. He was appointed October last year on an interim basis.
Mm.
Fahi says the board would have discussions with Simmons soon.
Mm.
Cricket West Indies regional 4-day tournament for men resumed today. Now, because the Sabina Park lighting does not meet international standards, the scheduled game between the Jamaica Scorpions and the Guyana Harpy Eagles was a day-night affair, but it is now a day game.
Mm.
Tejnarayan Chandapal is back in the Harpy Eagles squad for this game. He missed the Eagles game against the West Indies Academy because of an injury. And of course, the Guyana Harpy Eagles team is captained by Tevin Imlak. The Scorpions, also without their captain, John Campbell, who has been carrying an injury. And so the Jamaica Cricket Board thought it best for him to sit this one out. Brandon King has returned for the Scorpions, so too O.J. Shields. And the captain is Marquino Minley is doing duty as captain for the Jamaica Scorpions. Anyway, the Guyana Harpy Eagles are batting, and at stumps they were 260 for 5. Kevlin Anderson, 100, and even century. He retired hurt. Matthew Nandu got 61. Odin Smith, 3 for 46, and Tamari Redwood, 2 for 89. In the other games of the round, the Windward's Volcanoes, Leeward's Hurricanes game at the Darren Sammy Stadium. Azari Joseph is back for the Hurricanes, and the Volcanoes scored 364 for 7 at stumps. Shadrach Descartes, 119. Ryan John, 71 not out, while O'Shane Thomas, 4 for 45 so far. West Indies Academy, Trinidad Tobago Red Force at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Jason Mohammed is playing. I think we mentioned last week that he had an injury and might have missed this game, but he is playing for the Trinidad Tobago Red Force. I suppose, I guess he's fit enough, Trevor.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, the Red Force were 129 for 6 at stumps. That game, too, has been affected by rain. At
You know,
Kensington Oval,
John, this rain thing, we talked about having covered fields in the past, okay? And so far, we are about looking at the third series that is being played, and we are hearing that it has been affected by rain, John. And
maybe, Trevor, you remember that song, Fly Me to the Moon, and let me be among the clouds? Maybe we need to go and figure out the clouds, which one bringing the rain,
yeah, I mean, it has to be disheartening to the players, John.
Yeah.
When you have a series that is penciled into the calendar, you're looking forward to it, preparing for it, John, and you know that there is only one thing you cannot control: the elements at that point.
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature, but you can try to address it by having covered fields. And in as much as
But you
cricket
see,
has,
Trevor, that is such an expensive proposition,
yes, but you can use it 24/7, no, even when the elements are not cooperating. Not only for cricket now. It's like when you look at some of places like Madison Square Garden and Barclays Center, John. Those, the basketball court is also used for hockey,
Mm-hmm.
multi-purpose. So you don't need two stadiums. You need one stadium we can conduct. Even concerts are
Yeah,
being held
but you
in.
see, Trevor, you talk about now dimensions of a cricket field,
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, you realize the expanse, how much expanse you have to cover, how much ground you have to cover,
Well,
and
that
that
is true.
is probably it is an expensive proposition.
Well,
And as you mentioned some time ago, we know of really only one cricket field that has a dome, which is in Australia,
right, and
and
they
it is not being used by ICC for official games.
well, you see, because they do not want to have a situation where people are saying that there's an unfavorable position here because they don't have to worry about the elements, so they're gonna level the playing field by making everybody else naked out there.
Hmm.
But you see, when we have a situation like we is coming up, John, when we are talking about climate change, John, and you might be able to look back now over the last 10 years and ask the league, John, how many games were cancelled because of rain 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, and as we progress towards the present, is it something that is increasing or decreasing? Because there might
Well,
come a time when we can't have any games in the West Indies.
the ruling government here in the US don't believe that anything that's climate change. I guess the figures are fast. No such thing as climate change.
No.
I mean, rain must fast, snow go fast, sun come out,
Yes.
you know. But, as I say, boy, Trevor, let me tell you, especially in the Caribbean where funds are not sliding like oil,
Hmm.
it will be an expensive proposition to put up a domed stadium. I mean, it's not impossible,
Hmm.
because anything I guess a man conceives he can do, you
Well,
know.
look
But
at the one we had. Look at the one that we had in New Orleans, or the one we have in Texas, John. Cowboy Stadium. They have retractable roofs. Okay, so
and
it's
that probably even costs more, you know. And you look at like Jamaica, and I don't know about the other Caribbean countries, where every now and then you have a power cut.
well,
You can you imagine?
well,
The rain start coming and you want to close the roof and there's a power cut.
so solar power gonna take
So,
care of that.
so you know.
Okay.
Trevor, just moving along,
Mhm.
one more score at the Kensington Oval, Barbados Pride, and the combined campuses and colleges.
Mhm.
The college men scored a 262, Damel Evelyn 110, Kieran Powell 45, Ruston Chase 5 for 70, Jomel Warwick and 3 for 76. Barbados Pride on stumps 29 without loss, Craig Brathwaite on 13, and Zachary McCaskey on 5. Track and field.
Mm.
Track and field season, Trevor.
Oh yes, pendulous.
17-year-old Jamaican sprinter Fiona Lee Terrelong has joined the professional ranks of track and field after signing a 4-year deal with German sportswear giants Adidas.
Oh.
She will be guided on her professional journey by Shaniki Osborne of Optimum Performance Track Club.
Mhm.
In 2024, she won Class 2 100 meters at Champs in 11.53 seconds and was second in the 200 in 24.31.
Mhm.
She ran a personal best of 11.13 in the 100 meters at the June 2024 Jamaica Junior Track and Field Championships and 23.53 in the 200 meters to win gold at the NACAC Under 18 Championships in July 2023.
Mhm.
St. Lucia Sprint Queen Julian Alfred in line for another award. She has been nominated for the 2024 Laureus Breakthrough of the Year award. She, along with Letsila Tebogo of Botswana, are the only track and field athletes nominated in the Breakthrough of the Year category.
Wow.
The Laureus Sportswoman of the Year nominees are Simone Biles of the US, gymnastics fame, and Aitana Bonmati, Spain, football, soccer, Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands, athletics,
Mhm.
Faith Kipyegon, Kenya, athletics, Sydney McLaughlin Levron of the US, athletics, and Ariana Sabalenka of Belarus, tennis. The male nominees are Carlos Alcaraz, Spain, tennis, Mondo Duplantis, Sweden, athletics, Leon Marcan, France, swimming, Tajed Pogacar, Slovenia, cycling, Max Verstappen, Netherlands, Formula One. The 25th edition of the Laureus World Sports Awards will take place April 21st in Madrid, Spain.
Mhm.
30-year-old Jamaica World Champion gold medalist and Olympic medalist Chrisanne Gordon Powell has called time on her career and will now pursue a career in health care.
Hmm.
Chrisanne has represented Jamaica well, in fact, very well, medaling throughout her career from juniors through to senior.
Mhm.
And now she says she's stepping away to pursue a career in nursing. Congratulations and good luck, Chrisanne Gordon.
Okay.
World champion and Olympic long jump silver medalist Wayne Pinnock planning to open his season later this month, March 21st to the 23rd at the World Indoors in Nanjing, China. Pinnock recently changed his training base from the University of Arkansas to Kansas State University under coach Travis Goffert, the director of track and field at Kansas State University. Pinnock has a personal best of 8.54 meters. Eastern Champs tomorrow in Jamaica and Friday at the Stadium East. Ongoing repairs to the National Stadium track will not impact the meet over there on Stadium East.
Mhm.
Jamaicans Bert Cameron, Dion Guthrie, and Gillian Russell are now Hall of Famers, all three inducted into the NCAA Hall of Fame class of 2025 last week. Bert Cameron, who attended Texas El Paso University, is the first world champion 400-meter gold medalist, which he did in Helsinki 1983. He was also a member of Jamaica's 1988 4x4 silver medal winning Olympic team.
Mhm.
Diane Guthrie attended George Mason University and is a two-time Olympian, 1992 in the long jump, 1996 in the heptathlon.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Gillian Russell attended University of Miami, 1997 World Indoor 60-meter hurdles silver medalist and 1996 Olympic 4x100 meter relay bronze medalist. The inaugural New York Next Gen Invitational Relay is coming to Mount Vernon Memorial Stadium April 19th, and Tri-State High School athletes will get a chance to match spikes against their uh, Caribbean and Jamaican high school championship teams. The meet is scheduled to run from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Mm.
Football news. Cavalier Football Club off to Florida for their CONCACAF Champions Cup first leg round of 16 game against the star-studded Inter Miami. Cavalier director Rudolph Speed is confident his players will not be intimidated and are embracing the underdog role.
Mm.
I am keeping my fingers crossed, Trevor, that Cavalier comes out of the game with a positive result. If it's even a draw,
Well,
because I believe that we have talented youngsters in Jamaica football who are just as good or might even be better than some of the English players that they bring to play for the Reggae Boys. I
and
think our youngsters, what they need is just exposure and playing time.
I am inclined to agree with you, John. I think that, like any of the different sports that we look at, when there are changes, it takes a while when you bring a new player into the team, no matter how good they are, for them to
Hmm.
develop chemistry. So when you're taking all these English players back into the Jamaican team, and you're not, and they do not have enough playing time to develop chemistry, I think our players who have been playing together, John, who knows the moves that different players make at different points on the field and how they position themselves, when you're taking different free kicks or corners. I think that in the long run, as long as they're athletic enough, they will compete and compete very well. And I say this because while we look at soccer in a certain manner, and we are concerned about the infusion of foreign players. When we take our track stars, John, and we take them to the Olympics or to any of the diamond meets that are taking place, we compete against the best in the world, John.
Hmm.
Okay? We compete against them, and we're not looking for foreign players to come and represent us on the track field, John.
Hmm.
Okay? And the same thing goes when we put our Caribbean team, Jamaican team, up against, visiting teams.
Hmm.
Okay. Because these are the same players that, a year or two, we promote them to the major leagues anyway. Okay. And as you have said before, some of our young players don't get the exposure. Okay. So while other teams are signing 17-year-old players, ours don't get to the big stage until they are 19 or 21.
Hmm.
Okay.
And the thing with Trevor, with the thing with this Cavalier club now, and it's not anything new. Um, I look back to when I joined Cavalier in 1965.
Uh-huh.
At the time, I was 19, going on 20.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, even back then, Coach Duncan, there were a lot of high school players, 17, 18, playing
That's right.
at that time. What was it, National League or Division One for Cavalier?
Mm-hmm.
And the current director for Cavalier now, Rudolph Speed, he has basically used the same policy format with youngsters 16 and 17 playing for the senior club.
Yes.
And that is why I am hoping that they do well against Inter Miami,
Mm-hmm.
just to show that, we have youngsters there, and with proper handling. they can develop into world class probably players.
But you know,
But the,
John, we went through this. We went through this even with the NBA when players like a LeBron James and a Kobe Bryant, John, and they could not play in the National League unless they spent a couple of years in college.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
mm-hmm.
yeah. If they never went to college, you could not play in the national
Dog name
basketball.
is upper.
Yes, and once you find that they broke through that LeBron James never went to college, John. He just scored
Yeah.
50,000 points. The only one
Mm,
in the NBA
mm,
history to score 50,000 points.
yeah.
Points.
Mhm.
Kobe Bryant, who you comparing with the goat, okay,
The black mamba.
the Black Mamba. So no, so so you're right to that extent that sometimes they get locked into this traffic and they do not understand that there's an exit off the highway, John. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. And I just I maintain that the problem with our football in Jamaica with our JFF right now is that they're taking the easy road out by going over to England instead
Yes,
of trying to develop locally,
yes,
you know.
yes.
And it's in 1998, it was mostly our local players who got us to the 1998 World Cup.
That's right.
The English players were not brought in until later on,
All right.
you know. Anyway, Trevor.
As long as we keep on hammering this on John Sports Corner, maybe we'll get a little change
Mhm.
on the road, John.
Another successful Jamaican sports personality giving back to Jamaica as reggae boy Leon Bailey, along with Bounty Killer Foundation and Suzette Thompson, have joined together to sponsor the newly opened family room at Bellevue Hospital in Kingston. While Bailey was unable to be present for the ribbon cutting ceremony, as he was on his way to Belgium for a UEFA Champions League game with his Premiership club Aston Villa, he was able to join the ceremony via a video call where he thanked Bellevue for giving him the opportunity to offer kindness to a vulnerable group in his homeland. Jamaica Premier League action. Trevor, I don't know if you remember the Sparrow song, classic, No Money, No Love.
John, that has caused a lot of divorce. Don't go down that track, okay?
well, well, the Jamaica Premier League was thrown into disarray over the weekend after referees withdrew their services for non-payment of services.
Oh my.
Referees reportedly owed close to $8 million, Jamaican that is. All the weekend games were affected. And those games, Tivoli against Mullans United, Cumberland against Cavalier, and this was to be Cavaliers' final prep game before they traveled to Miami to play Lionel Messi's Inter Miami in the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
You know,
Harborview,
you
Capital
know,
Maroons.
John, my question, I'm going to ask the question because it's hanging out there. Are the players, John, in a position to sue John for lost income because of the negligence of the administration in not paying the referees or the umpires, whichever one you want to call them, John, and having not done so, affected the ability of the teams, John, to follow their schedule, to play their games, and to earn compensation from playing, John.
Well, I probably not, Trevor, because the games that were missed on the weekend will be played. they just have to, the
Yes.
JFF will just have to rearrange the schedule, but the game's going to be played. Those, as far as I know, those games are going to be played.
Yeah, but what about the stadiums, John, that had those games booked and expect to make compensated for reserving those dates, John?
Well, that's another story, you know.
Okay.
That's another complete another story. But the good news, however, you know, Trevor, the Professional Football Jamaica Limited, who is responsible for the Premier League, and the referees have reached an amicable agreement, according to what I understand, yesterday, ending the impasse.
Hmm.
So the midweek matches scheduled for today and tomorrow will go ahead as scheduled. Today's game is Malines United against Veer at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. Several games tomorrow. Mount Pleasant against Waterhouse at Drax Hall. Humble Lion takes on Tivoli at Effortsville Community Center. Racing against Dundee Holding at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. Chapelton Maroons and Arnett Gardens. The last game of the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex doubleheader. Oh, Montego Bay United Harborview, I think I said that, at Catherine Hall Sports Complex. Going into today's games, the leading Premier League scorers are Warner Brown of Arnett Gardens with 15 goals. John Mara Calvin Cavalier, 13 goals. Shaquille Bradford, Mount Pleasant, 11 goals. There are 4 players with 10 goals. Brian Brown of Montego Bay United, Chanel Thomas, Montego Bay United, Kimoni Bailey, Mount Pleasant, and Daniel Green, also of Mount Pleasant. A new football rule to be implemented and will impact goalkeepers. The Football Association Board says the rule will be implemented worldwide by July 1st. That is, goalkeepers have 8 seconds from collecting the ball to releasing it. The new rule will be used in the June 15th through July 13th Club World Cup. Goalkeepers holding the ball more than 8 seconds will give up a corner to the opposition. Keepers will be warned by the referee when they have 5 seconds remaining. By the way, this so-called new rule, Trevor, was already in the books. I guess they are just going to enforce it now. And they're calling it to cut down on time wasting. You're muted, Trevor. Yeah.
You know, John, what's going to happen, you know, John, is that you're going to find the keeper goes leaps high in the air, John, comes down with the ball, John, lands heavily on the floor, John, and he just going to clutch himself and suddenly he's hurt, John.
And he's hurt. And call for the trainer. No,
Okay.
Trevor. As I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
And will the keepers now be allowed to wear watches, John? So
Hmm.
they can check the seconds, John.
No, but the referee, referee will warn them when there's 5 seconds remaining. But you know, Trevor, you know what? Actually, what I would like to see the what they call them now, the International Football Association Board address is excessive grabbing and pulling and holding during games. They should call fouls.
Especially when you're having a corner, John. I mean, it's a
Yeah, you
wrestling.
know, a
It's a
corner,
wrestling match.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They should, that is what they should call that a goalkeeper jump and line down on the ball for a few minutes, couple seconds, you
Yeah.
know. Anyway, Trevor, Jamaica Reggae girls defeated Peru 3-2 in the second friendly. to
Okay.
sweep the 2-game series, 2 games to 0. And
Okay.
again, the coach is rather pleased with the performance of the girls in the 2 games. Um, and when you consider they did not have their big time striker with them, Khadija
Ye-
Bonishaw.
yes.
She was not available.
Mm-hmm.
34-year-old Jamaica reggae girl Rebecca Spencer has signed with reigning Women's Super League champions Chelsea on an emergency loan from Tottenham Hotspurs for the remainder of the season.
Mm-hmm.
She was once Tottenham's first choice netminder, but she has been seen spotted games so far this season. Chelsea in dire need of a keeper as their frontline keepers, Femke Lifting, is carrying a long-term injury, and Asira Musovic is pregnant. Spencer has played for Chelsea before and won Women's Super League title and FA Cup with the club. Jamaica Premier League champions and CONCACAF Caribbean Cup champions Cavalier Football Club begin their CONCACAF Champions Cup bid tomorrow against Lionel Messi's Inter Miami in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think that game is going to be played in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Then Jamaica football fans again will hopefully get to see Lionel Messi play on Jamaican soil for the return game, which is scheduled for March 13th. The newly minted Jamaica Women's Premier League kicked off for last Saturday. Defending champions Fraser's Whip got things rolling with a 6-goal-to-0 win over UWI Football Club.
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi United and Proven Girls in a 2-2 stalemate. Honored Gardens and Cavalier also in a 2-2 stalemate. Los Perfectos 6-1 over Federal United, while Real Mobe and Mile Gully in a 3-3 stalemate. In Women's Super League today, West Ham United and Manchester City Women in a 1-1 draw. Khadija Bonishaw, the Reggae Girl striker, she scored the go-ahead goal in the 80th minute of the game,
Mm-hmm.
only to have West Ham tie it up in extra time. That extra 90, that time after the 90 minutes have expired.
Yeah.
Those are heartbreakers.
That,
you
so
know.
that is why they want to do the 8-second rule, I guess. So we cut out the extra time, John.
you know. In the world of netball, Trevor, there is still no annual general meeting for Netball Jamaica, where a new president is expected to be elected. A potential date was set for February, but the audited financial statements appear to be what's delaying the process. And I guess when you aren't diligent in preparing proper annual financial reports, trying to get 4 or 5 years at once can be extremely challenging.
Oh, yeah. So Karen is still waiting on the blocks, huh? Bunny, Karen,
She's still in the blocks waiting for the gun to fire.
still in the blocks.
Or should I say for the starter to say, get your marks.
Yeah, get the mark. Wow.
Let's travel across the Caribbean a bit, Trevor. Both Trinidad and Tobago junior tennis teams are ranked numero uno going into the North Central American and Caribbean pre-qualifying competition for the junior tennis tournament in the Dominican Republic.
Mm.
Let me just back up a bit here, Trevor. Oh, Noel. Yeah, the girls, back it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinidad and Tobago, well, the girls In Group A are Trinidad and Tobago, Guatemala, the Bahamas. In Group B, Costa Rica, Curacao, and the Dominican Republic. In Group C, El Salvador, Suriname, and Honduras, while in Group D, Puerto Rico, Aruba, and Jamaica.
Mm.
On the boys' side, in Group A, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, and Bahamas. In Group B, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and Panama. In Group C, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Aruba, and El Salvador. In Group D, Honduras, Curacao, Suriname, and Barbados.
Okay.
Updating St. Kitts and Nevis Division 1 Football 2025. Newton 5 goals to zip over Connery Fireball. Rivers of Living Water and Trinity Challengers in a 2-2 stalemate.
Mm-hmm.
Newton was also a winner again over Village Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Fast Cash Saddlers United 2 goals to zip over Trinity Challengers, while Garden Hotspurs and Molyneux Pitbulls in a 1-1 stalemate.
Mm-hmm.
Guyana are the Caribbean boxing champions. The championship ended on Sunday in St. Lucia. Guyana boxers won 9 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Trinidad and Tobago was second with 5 gold medals, while the host, St. Lucia, won 2 gold medals.
You know, John, ever since Guyana struck oil, you know, it seems
Things happening?
things happening, John.
things are gone.
we seem to be calling Guyana, mentioning Guyana a little bit more often than we used to, John. Okay.
Well, I guess they have found a new sporting life. They have seen where sports is important in their communities. And I guess they are working on developing sports across the board.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's good, you know.
And when you have oil that can done, you know.
Anyway, here we go again. Guyana's Daniel Williams is now a record holder. His 20.48 over 200 meters at the NAIA Championship broke the South American indoor record of 20.65 set by Brazilian Olympic medalist Robson Caetano in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, half-lap Olympian Shafika Maloney. She is now the brand ambassador for St. Vincent and the Grenadines First National Bank. Despite enduring financial troubles during her prep for the Paris Olympic Games, she just missed out on a medal in the women's 800, placing 4th. As I say, Lazarus come forth. The 2-year partnership will see her playing an active role promoting the bank's brand. St. Lucia to host the AMBC Caribbean. Well, that just ended, and Guyana came home the champions.
Mm-hmm.
But in basketball news, Jamaica Basketball Association looking to put a team in the 2027 Federation of International Basketball World Championship set for 2027.
Mm-hmm.
But first, they must go through the Americas pre-qualifiers in August 2025, where they'll meet Costa Rica, Chile, Ecuador, Mexico, Paraguay, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Finished top 2 in the group, and Jamaica advanced to the next round of qualifiers in November where they'll meet teams like the US,
No.
Canada, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. Jamaica Basketball Association's president, Halton Gordon, says the biggest challenge, Trevor, for the association now is assembling a competitive squad with player eligibility. They have identified players in the NBA as well as Division One and European-based players who
Mhm.
may be eligible to represent Jamaica.
Hmm.
Here's a source about about
For,
eligibility.
oh yeah, eligibility first.
According
No.
to Federation of International Basketball Association rules, a prospective player must have obtained their passport before age 16.
Hmm.
Players who do not meet this requirement will require a special appeal.
Well,
Tum,
you know,
tum,
John,
tum, tum.
I know that we will have to get one product approved in Jamaica by the Basketball Association in order for them to qualify, John. Yellow yam.
Boy, Trevor, and basketball has kind of picked up in Jamaica now, you know.
Well,
It has really picked up. I
okay.
mean, the high school championships, I think, are just ended, and it slips me now. Who I think St. George's was beaten in the final. I'll have to double check, but the high school championships just ended.
Well, you know, John, I will say this also, that rain will not wash out the game, John.
Well, it depends, because some of the games are played outdoors.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Not on the hardwood, eh?
So if it rains, n- no. So if it rains, you know, the game will resume at some point.
Yeah.
Either the next day or when the rain stops.
Oh, mm.
Some boxing news, Trevor, as Jamaica heavyweight boxer Ricardo Big 12 Brown takes on American Colby Madison in an 8-rounder on Friday night at the Great Canadian Casino Resort in Toronto. Brown's record stands at 12-0 with 11 finishing inside the distance.
Mm.
Madison, meanwhile, has 11 wins, 7 losses, and 3 draws in his 21 fights.
Mm.
But at 35, Trevor, I have to wonder if Big 12 Browns handlers have championship fight in mind for him, or will he just keep fighting some nobodies?
You know, John, Mike Tyson set a bad example a couple of months back, so I can't say nothing about Brown.
Yeah, but Mike Tyson, Trevor. Mike Tyson won world titles, you know.
But but he came to fight in a
Uh,
wheel. He came to fight in a wheelchair, John.
remember that quote that Mike Tyson said, Trevor, that everybody come into the ring with a plan until they get hit. You know. Anyway, also just a reminder that former Jamaica super featherweight world champion Nicholas Axman Walters, he is scheduled to step into the ring on Saturday
Mhm.
when he meets Mexico's Luis Torres over 10 rounds.
Okay.
Audrey Allwood has been re-elected president of the Jamaica Amateur Bodybuilding and Fitness Association for a 3rd consecutive term. The meeting marked a significant moment for the organization as members gathered in person for the first time since the pandemic restrictions.
Okay.
You want to get into that bodybuilding thing, Trevor?
Well, this is the time to do it. You,
you know,
you, you,
this is the
you,
time to do
yes, you get a sponsor because the results are gonna show.
it. That's right.
As a matter of fact, I was actually thinking about it, because yeah, it's a good. This is the time.
Anyway, Trevor, just moving along to the speed circuit. Formula One, seven-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton says he's really enjoying driving his new Ferrari and believes they are slowly bonding.
Hmm.
2007, he signed for McLaren, thus becoming the first black driver to compete in Formula One at the Australian Grand Prix.
Hmm.
He won 4 Grand Prix in his rookie year, race 4 Grand Prix races, and before winning his first title the following season in 2008. He signed with Mercedes in 2013, with whom he won 6 Formula One titles.
Hmm.
Can he win a few more with Ferrari?
Hmm.
His 7 titles leave him tied with Michael Schumacher. The
Hmm.
first race of the 2025 season is the Australian Grand Prix, set for March 16th.
Hmm.
And we close with some cricket history. On this date, 1921, Pakistan first Test centurion Nazar Mohammed was born.
Hmm.
While he played only 5 Test matches, all in Pakistan's inaugural 1952-53 series against India. In the second Test in Lucknow, he ground out an unbeaten 124 to anchor Pakistan's first Test win over India by an innings and 43 runs.
Wow.
And that's where we draw stumps on John Sports Corner this Wednesday afternoon on the Sosofat Media Network. Thanks for joining us, and tell a friend that we span the sports globe. But remember, folks, to go to Winner Circle store in the Sosofat shop and pick up available merchandise that's there. And as I mentioned earlier, today, the first day of Easter, the bun, nice can done.
Okay. Just make
Trevor.
sure, just make sure nobody don't give you a bun.
Yeah, you know. Right.